In this video, I'm going to show you how you can be able to create tables, create relationships, queries, forms, and generate relevant reports using Microsoft Access. Okay, in this video, basically, we are going to learn just the basics of how to do that. So the first thing you need to do while on your desktop, you right click, then we go to New, then we open Microsoft Access database. Click on it to open. As you can see, it's right here. So we open, double click on it to open. Give it some time to load. Enable content. After enabling content, come to file. Then now we open a new database. Click on new. This is, we are going to use blank database. So under file name, I'm going to write the name of our file. Let's call it Tech Manual. Tech Manual is going to be the name of our file. Then you can select where to save it. Let's say we want to save it in a specific folder here, Tech Manual folder. Or if you don't have a folder, you can just save it on your desktop. So in our case, I have Tech Manual folder. We're going to save it there. Click OK. After setting the folder where you want to save and the name of your file, now you can click Create to create your database. So the first thing we are going to do, make sure you delete this table that comes automatically when you open a new database. So right click on it, then delete, so that we are able to start from afresh. And make sure before you delete a table, make sure it's closed here. As you can see, we've been able to delete the table. So to create a table in Microsoft Access, you'll come into the Create tab, and before that, maybe let's do a bit introduction of Microsoft Access. In Microsoft Access, just the same with the other Microsoft Office applications, it has tabs. So the first tab is a file, where when you click on file, you'll be able to save your database. You'll be able to open a new database document, be able to close it. Then these are displaying the recent databases that have been created in this machine. Then you have recent tab, we have new. If you want to open a new database, you can print, then you can save. And if you need help, you can also get it under File tab. Then we have Home tab. Under Home tab, it has ribbons, but these ribbons can only be activated once you start working on your database. Then we have Create tab, where it has different features on its ribbon. We have groups such as templates, we have tables, we have queries, we have forms, we have reports, and also we have macros and code. So these are some of the features that we use while working on your database. Then we have external data tab. It also has its ribbon and the groupings. Then we have database tools. Under database tools, this is where we'll be able to create to get the relationship feature. So now we can click on create, so that you can be able to start by creating a table. So we're going to create a sample or an imaginary table. So we click on table. It will open a table. Then we right click here, table 1, click design view. Then it will ask you to give it the table name. So an imaginary table of ours will be called cars table. Cars table. Then you click OK. It will be able to open for you your table in design view. So the first row, it automatically comes with ID enabled as your primary key. You can either remove it or use it. In our case, we're going to remove this as primary key, disable primary key, which is right under design table tools, design, then feature number 2. It's a primary key, so you click on it to disable it. Then you are going to type here car registration number. These are the initials for car registration number. Its data type will be text. Car registration number will be text. That's a short text. Then we also have the car owner. Car owner, it will be name of a person, so still will be text. After this, you can now click here, right click on cars table, make sure you saved it and close. Then you can now create second table, repeat the same steps. Our second table will be in design view, will be called offense table. Remember, this is just an imaginary data. Also disable primary key. You have offense ID. Offense ID. Offense ID. Offense ID. Its data type will be number. Instead of auto number, we write number so that we are able to type in the offense ID ourselves. Then we also have charges name. Charges name. The charges name, because it will be a name of a person, its data type will be text. Then we have fine. The fine, which would be fine, will be data type for fine will be currency, because it will be in form of money. Then you can save your work and make sure you close the table. You can create another table, third table. Open design view. We call it offense transact table. Offense transact table. Then you click OK to open the design view. And then make sure you selected the primary key feature. So the first field name will be car registration number. Car registration number, which would be number. Then we also have offense ID. Offense ID, which would be
Adia.
Next will be date committed. Use data type will be date and time. Then remember to save your work. save, and you can close. Okay, now after creating your tables, as you can see, we now have 3 tables. We have cars table, offense table, and offense transact table. So we are going to enter our imaginary data in our tables. So we'll start by entering data for cars table. So the first one we have, let's call it ABC 102. That is the registration number. Then the car owner, let's call him Martin. Enter to be able to create a second row. And we have ABE 234 M. And the car owner will be Ross. Enter. ABE again 245 N. The car owner, let's call him Dolly. Then we have ABK 106B. Let's call the car owner John. Okay, be able to use those. Then make sure you save your work. Open the second table, which is offense table. We're going to input the offense ID. First offense ID will be 1001. Then the charge's name will be, let's say, the overlapped, so it will be overlapping. Then we charge the fine of 10,000. Then the next offense ID have 1002 overspeeding with a fine of 15,000. Then we have third, which is 1003, that is traffic lights offense. Then you'll be charged a fine of 8,000. Okay, you can enlarge your table rows or field names so that your data can fit in. So you point at the end of your field name, then you double click to make sure that your data fits into the table correctly. Make sure you save your work. Then let's fit in the last information for offense transact table. I'm going to fit in the car registration number, that is ABC 106B, with an offense ID of 1001, and this date you can always select, let's say date 11th 2022. Then we have ABE 234M with an offense ID 1001 still. Date, let's say date 13. Then we have ABC 106 still B, ID of 1001, date 13. Then we have ABE 234M, then offense ID ABE 234M, offense ID of 1002. Let's give it date 14. Then we have 34M still, ID 1002, give it date 15, have the same ABE to 34M again, 1002, date 16th, then we have ABL 245 N of 1003, offense ID, date 17th, then we have ABL 245N, offense ID 1003, date 18. And make sure you save your work. Then we close all the tables. So after entering our data, we are going to create relationships between the three tables. So we click on Database Tools tab, then click on Relationships. But before we do that, we must have primary keys in our tables before creating relationships. So we are going to click a table one after another, starting by cars table. Right click on it, open design view. Then we are going to make car registration number as our primary key. So there are two ways of selecting or highlighting a primary key. You can either select the field, right click on it, then click primary key. That's option 1. Then the other option is after clicking on the field name, you click on this feature which is written primary key with a key symbol. So you'll click on that to make it primary key. Then save your work. Then primary key for offense table, open it under design view. We repeat the same procedure, make it primary key. We make offense ID our primary key. Then we move on to offense transact table, design view. I'm going to make car registration number as our primary key, right? Then make sure you save your work. Make sure you save your work. After saving your work, make sure you close everything. Yes. Now, after creating setting the primary keys for each table, we are now able to create relationships among the three tables. So click on Database Tools, then you click on Relationships. Then here we're going to select the three tables. Then add, then you close this. You can adjust to make sure that your relationships look better. So car registration number will create relationship between the cars table and the offense table using the car registration number and the offense ID. As you can see, the table will be car registration number and offense ID. Then you click create. You'll be able to see a line, a black line, joining car table and the offense table. Then you can also create relationship between the offense ID of the offense table and the date committed offense of the offense transact table, and then you click create. So here we are able to, you can be able to see that we have our relationships set. Then make sure you save your relationship. You can also close. So now we are going to I'm going to show you how you can be able now to create query using the available tables. So we are going to click on the query wizard, simple query, click OK. So the first field that we're going to select here is the car registration number. We are going to get it from the cars table. So click to move car registration number. Then you have the car owner still from the cars table. Then you have charges name. Charges name, you're going to get it from offense table. Click offense table, then you get the charges name. Then you have fine. Fine is still from the offense table. Then we have the date committed. So the date committed, we're going to get it from the offense transact table. Date committed. After setting everything that you need or require, click next. Then you're going to go with the first option, detail show as, which is detail show as every field of every record. Next. Then what do you want to what title do you want to name your query? So we can name our query as, let's call it R query. Query, the name of query, then open the query to view information. Can finish. Say okay. So after creating the query, you are able to see this is the query in design view. Able to see. So this is the design view. Right click on it to close. Then when you double click on this R query, as you can see, first we had only tables column. Now we have queries too. So double click on this to open the query. So once you click on the R query, you're able to open your query. Here you're able to find the car registration number, the owner, which is Rose. Then you have the charges, you have the fine, and the date the car owner committed the offense. So we have tables and we have the queries. So now I'm going to show you how you can be able now to create a form. So form, you can create a form using the query, or you can create, for each table you create a form of its own. So let's use query to create our form. So click on create. In the form, so for Microsoft Access Basics, we are going just to use the first feature, but for experts you can use form wizard. So for now we're going to use the form. So click on form. After clicking on form, you can you are able to see that our form has been created. You can close this property window. We have registration number of the car. We have the car owner, the Rose. We have the charges overlapping, a fine of 10,000, and the date of when the offense was committed. After doing that, so we can be able now to save. Right click on it. You can click design view. You can be able to save our work. Save it as R form. Then click OK to save it and close. So you're able to see that been able to create a form here, so you can double click on it to confirm if everything is okay. Then after creating a form, you can be able now to create a report or to generate a report. So there are two ways of how you can create or generate your report. You can either use form or query to generate your report, but in this case we're going to use a query, the query that we created before, to be able to generate our report. So we click on query, then click on create tab, then we'll come on report. This is for basics, but if you are an expert, you can use report wizard to choose which key fields that you want to display. So we click on report. A report will be generated automatically. So you are able to see that we have the car registration number, we have the car owner, we have the charges, and we have the fine and the date committed. And we are able to see the total of all the fine. You are able to see that it's 55,000, a total which we are committed for overlapping on the 12th, then overspeeding 15,000, overspeeding again of 15,000, and overspeeding again for 15,000. So that's a total of 55,000. So this is how you can be able to create or generate a report. Then after generating your report, click here to make sure you save your work. Save it as R report. Then click OK to save your work. Then you can close this. Then on this, now you can be able to double click on it to open your report. So in this video, basically we've been learning, or I've been showing you how you can be able to create tables, queries, forms, and reports using Microsoft Access or database. So these have just been for beginners. Then we'll be releasing our next video soon to elaborate more on how to create a database for an advanced level. So you can also be able to see that after creating tables, queries, and forms, if you have so many features here, you can be able to hide them by clicking on these double arrows. Click on it, you'll be able to hide your information, and you can also unhide to see. So thank you very much for learning together with us. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share our videos.